Hey, what's up, everybody? Hopefully you're having a wonderful Monday. This past weekend, we had the second regional for the fall split for European RLCS, also sponsored by BMW, go down. And in today's video, let's recap some of the insane results that ended up happening. What's up, everybody? Lawler here, going to be breaking down the quote RLCS 2021-22 Fall European Regional Event 2 BMW Rocket League Open. That is the official name for this event, but EU Regional 2, that's what we're going to go with for the fall split. We're going to break this down in three different parts. We've got the Swiss stage, quarterfinals, grand finals, semifinals. So day 1, 2, and 3. We've got 16 teams that ended up competing in the main event. 8 of those automatically qualified from the last regional. Those 8 teams are K-Corp, Semper, Endpoint, BDS, Misfits, Dignitas, Williams Resolve, and Evil Geniuses. The 8 that came from the other qualifiers were Navi, Team Vitality, 00 Nation, Team Queso, Flying Dutchman, FC Barcelona, Vodafone Giants, and SK Gaming. A lot of questions in this one as well that we are waiting to be answered. Is Vitality going to be able to claw their way back after going out 0-3 last time? Also, are we going to see Endpoint continue to showcase their merit because of, again, winning the last event? Is it a fluke? Is it something that can be recreated? As well as a bunch of other teams that are kind of in that pushing for top 8 space. You look at all the list of those names: Williams Resolve, EG, Flying Dutchman, Queso, like a bunch of names. Even SK Gaming I was pretty keen on, seeing if they were going to be able to show up and say like, hey, we are actually a good team. We've got 2 really crazy storylines in the Swiss stage if you want to showcase all the results. Number 1, Misfits Gaming. Cash has been a fantastic addition. I knew it was going to be a good addition and have stated as much, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. They start off their Swiss stage with the 3-0 victories and are the number 1 seed overall because they had better performance overall than the team below them in BDS for the previous regional event. Both have a +7 game differential, 3-0, etc. We'll get into the individual stuff. So that's one of them. The second storyline, Endpoint won regional 1 and then pull a FaZe clan. You win a regional and then you don't even qualify for top 8. What is going on in Europe? Third thing, Vitality went 0-3 last regional. Regional 1, 0-3, don't make it, have to go through the qualifiers. This time around, K-Corp does the exact same thing. I don't know what's going on with Europe. I don't understand what the heck is happening with some of these results, but missing out on teams like K-Corp, Williams Resolve, Team Queso looked decent. Barcelona, again, continues to fall just a little bit short. Evil Geniuses falls short. Endpoint falls short. EU is a cluster of just insanity, and I am here for it. It makes for a lot of fun parody, and we haven't even looked at the top 8. So, going through the different rounds of Swiss stage, everything pretty much goes expected. I did think Vitality could possibly take the win over KC. I think that's what I predicted. I honestly don't remember because predictions don't necessarily mean anything in Europe because it's all over the place. Pretty crazy stuff there. Vitality does end up winning as expected. Matches pretty close. I think Semper going to 5 against Navi is more credit to Navi than it is Semper. But other than that, I think Misfits winning 3 over Flying Dutchman also says a lot. But things pretty much go as expected. In round 2, the high-low seeds, all the teams I thought were going to win, except for the Vitality Endpoint series. I thought that was going to be much closer. It is a 3-over to Endpoint, and that's where it really comes as a shock. Endpoint starts out 2-0 and needs 1 series out of 3 to qualify, and they lose 3 in a row, which is insanity. You've got Flying Dutchman winning over Team Queso, 00 Nation winning over Navi, FC Barcelona beating K-Corp, big shock there, and then SK going to 5 against Vodafone Giants. Thinking SK needs to perform a little bit better than that and a little bit more consistently. Pretty keen on the roster with Ixo, Tox, and Yukio. I just think there's a ton of talent. We then go to high-low seeds. Misfits ends up upsetting Semper, which is awesome to see. Some parity there. Unfortunate for Semper. A good team, but still I think needs something more. I don't know what it is. I just think someone on that team really needs to step up and showcase. I think Cassie is playing well. I think maybe Shazette is kind of... We haven't seen him really perform like the DreamHack BTS where he was like 1v3ing teams, and I don't think that's fair to expect anymore because of how good teams have gotten, but they need something to push them into that conversation of top 4 again. It's been so long. BDS beating Endpoint as expected, in my opinion. So Misfits and BDS, the first to qualify, they end up getting in. Same exact game differential, but because Misfits performed better last week, I'm pretty sure, or last regional, they get the #1 seed overall. Looking back, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know why Misfits got the #1 seed over BDS, because BDS came in as a higher seed than Misfits did. So not exactly sure what that's all about. Yeah, Liquipedia, you might want to fix that. BDS is the #1 seed, Misfits #2. It says they're tied for first, but because of the seeding last, you should. It's listed in alphabetical order, but they need to update that. So BDS, because they did take second last qualifier, which makes sense. They came in as the 1 seed, and it shows that in the playoff bracket as well. So Wikipedia, fix it. Mid-series, SK over EG as expected. Dignitas looks pretty solid over 0-0 Nation. Vitality wins their match. And then Flying Dutchman over Williams Resolve. I didn't think it was going to be a 3-0, but I'm pretty keen on Flying Dutchman, so glad to see them showing up as it matters. Team Queso knocks out Navi, as Navi being the first team to get eliminated. And then K-Corp also gets eliminated. I talked about, again, one of the storylines, K-Corp pulling a Vitality. I don't know how K-Corp goes 0-3. I really don't. It's very shocking. Then going to round 4 of the Swiss stage, and you got SK over Endpoint. Another big surprise. Dignitas 3-0 Semper, which is very telling about how the rest of the week went. And then Vitality 3-0 is Flying Dutchman. So SK, Dig, and Vitality all qualify. Endpoint, Semper, and Flying Dutchman have to drop down. You then got EG over Giants, which is expected. That's the former Team Queso roster that got picked up. Internally, they've had some issues even before this season was started, so I'm not surprised. I did expect Giants to kind of deflate as the season goes on. You then got Barcelona and Team Queso, which goes to 5. Barcelona ends up squeaking that one out, which has happened numerous times where Barcelona just barely wins, but can't get to the 3-2 series scoreline to qualify for top 8. And then you've got 0-0 Nation going up against Williams Resolve. 0-0 Nation showing their merit, which is pretty exciting. You then go to round 5, 0-0 Nation against Endpoint, and Endpoint loses. They get eliminated 2-3. 0-0 Nation qualifies. Big shock from Endpoint, especially after the performance they had last regional. Flying Dutchman beats EG as expected, and then Semper beats Barcelona as expected, which gives us our top 8 and our matches. First seed versus last seed, BDS versus 0-0 Nation. You then got Dignitas versus SK Gaming, which was, in my opinion, going to be the closest series of the quarterfinals. You got Misfits versus Semper, and Team Vitality versus Flying Dutchman. Unfortunate for the Flying Dutchman getting the worst end of that one, it feels like. Into the quarterfinals then, into our second part. This all went down on Saturday. First match of the day was Team Vitality versus Flying Dutchman, and they made quick work of them. 4-0 sweep, holding Flying Dutchman to 3 goals. This one, I think Flying Dutchman just gets outclassed by the experience and a Vitality that is extremely motivated. Boot camp is the answer. Being in person, helping out a ton. Despite that, 4-0 game 1, 2-1, and then 2-1 again, both overtimes. One went a little bit into overtime, 2-19, the other one right off the kickoff. And then Vitality closes it out 3-1. Flying Dutchman just kind of got outclassed as a Vitality on a mission to get to the grand finals because they need it to have a chance to go to Sweden. We then go to Misfits versus Semper, and Misfits showed that, yes, it is not a fluke. We are a good team. Respect us. Arju, Matane, and Cash. Very, very talented. Team that I obviously started casting originally when they were the Monkeys in the grid last season of RLCS X. Has gone through some changes with Bluey and everybody else after they lost Ixo, and have found a fantastic fit in Cash. Cash playing out of his mind, getting a lot of praise from a lot of different people. 3-2, 2-1 OT, 6-1, 1-0. So Semper kept it close in 3 of those 4 matches, but again, that Misfits roster looking pretty dang good on offense. Semper still, again, missing that one key element, I think, that will bring them to top 4 potential. Curious if they can figure it out. We then jumped and flip-flopped the schedule. I don't know if it was a timing thing or what, but instead of going Dignitas SK, it actually went Team BDS 0-0 Nation. And Team BDS showing a little bit of frustration, I would say. BDS comes out, wins 4-1 as expected. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be another 4-0 for the day. Then 0-0 Nation puts up a fight, and you can see visible frustration. You can see some of the mental having a tear on BDS. This is kind of the question mark that's been going on with BDS, where when they actually have to face some adversity, they kind of fall apart. It's been really weird to see. So they do bounce back and end up winning the next 3, 2-1 with an OT, 1-0, and then 5-1. But there is some concerns for me for BDS, where if they go up against a team that can hold their own, I don't know if it's going to go too well, and they kind of get down on themselves. You see the visible frustration on Monkey Moon. You see them starting to struggle in big moments. And the gameplay's still good. They're still a very solid team, but when things get down, they really get down. So you look at teams like Dignitas that have a very big mental coach, not a like in-field or on-the-field coach to help them through game to game, but BDS something to consider because it definitely looks like you can see the body language really showing that off. So BDS still able to close it out 4-2, but 00 Nation, credit them, do put up a really good fight. We then go to our fourth and final quarterfinal match, which is Dignitas versus SK. And SK Gaming finally shows that, hey, we are a team. We're top 8 potential. And this is why. Despite that, Dignitas looks good. Offense starts to click. Scrub Killer really good on defense. Flip resets here and there. Really utilizing that one's placed out. There was quite a few times, though, that I will say that Dignitas just gave possession away. They would just boom the ball, or there'd be a moment where pass play can go across field, and rather than cutting rotation like normal and being situationally aware of what they could do, you see one of the players completely rotate out and go back corner boost rather than taking the midfield boost and then rotating back into the plate and keeping that pressure. There's some things about Dignitas that can really be cleaned up. But again, the fact that they're getting wins and continuing to be successful despite having some of those glaring issues makes me really excited about Dignitas's potential, because when they are on, they are world-class, chances to win it all kind of teams. So Dignitas looks good. They did have a 7-minute, 39-second OT, and then a minute 41 after that. And then the sixth and final game was a minute and 1 second where they ended up winning. So 2 OTs in favor of Dignitas compared to SK's 1. SK does win the 7:39 one in game 2. Either way, Dignitas looks pretty solid. 4-2. We've got 2 4-2s and 2 4-0s. Again, patterns here for Europe in the quarterfinals. We then go into the third and final part of the video where we get to day 3 on Sunday. This literally ended about 25 minutes ago. It was quick work. We'll get into that. First semifinal, Misfits versus Team Vitality. And Misfits puts up a phenomenal fight. But again, Vitality has a big reason to need to go to that grand final. And of course, when Vitality is motivated, they look pretty unstoppable. Vitality ends up playing a really good game against Misfits. And every single game except for the 6th and final game is a 1 goal. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 1-0. 3 of those are overtimes. Games 3, 4, and 5, all OTs, 50 seconds, 2:35, and 26. And that was the biggest issue for Misfits, is off those OTs, off the kickoff. Vitality is very, very strong and will punish you. Shoutouts to Alpha 54 finally showing what everybody has expectations of him. You saw him on TSM being able to hard carry that team, and since then, everybody has wanted that kind of level of play out of Alpha. A bit of concern for Vitality, because if Alpha's not looking goated, Vitality seems to let off the gas a little bit. We did see KDOP step up a bit in that regard, but again, Vitality, I think, really needs that high offensive flair. And I do think Fairy P has the capability to go out and do it. He doesn't really showcase it, but if Alpha's not doing that as much, I would like to see a little bit more selfish play from Fairy Peak myself, to kind of take off that pressure from somebody else. Either way, Misfits puts up a really, really good fight, showcasing, hey, we are top 4 potential. It brings me back to last season, RLCS, when Galaxy Racer was a top 6 team, pushing for top 4, had potential. This team still has the makings to really be good and showcase that they are not a fluky team and that they have really good opportunity to go to actually the grand finals and go to the majors and everything else. So exciting to see from Misfits. But Vitality, despite needing a top 2, continue to showcase, hey, we're going to make top 2s. So Vitality in the grand finals waiting for the winner of BDS versus Dignitas. And Dignitas says, easy peasy, BDS, we're going to hold you to 2 goals over the course of 5 games, and it's going to be ugly. BDS comes out and just smacks BDS in the face. It was brutal. Dignitas controls the entire game, really limiting BDS's options, which is crazy to see. And when BDS got down, they really got down. Game 3, as always, is kind of that deciding game where if you're going to make adjustments, usually 10 minutes of gameplay is the time to do it. They do so. 1-0. They stop Dignitas from scoring, and then the floodgates open. Dignitas continued to push through. Joria is averaging like 0.91 goals per game throughout the entire week. It's insane. So Joria gets the MVP. Looks absolutely incredible. Apparently, Jack starts hitting flip resets. Scrub kill on defense again. Little bit timid at times, I would say, but really falls into his own and makes some really clutch saves. So Dignitas beats BDS 4-1. They move on into the grand finals. Grand finals, Dignitas, Vitality. El Clasico almost. We get a rematch of what we've been wanting, actually. If you look at the Season 8 semifinals, we got the greatest overtime in Rocket League history, and finally getting Dignitas back on top. A quick turnaround from them, especially after contrast from last week, or last regional. I don't know why I keep saying last week, but exciting stuff. Dignitas comes out, Vitality, and Vitality looks a little slow. Just not really challenging all that well. Not really respecting the fact that Dignitas wants to play fast, and Dignitas just controls the pace of the game. Quick to the ball, suffocating on offense. They win the first 2 games, 2-1, 3-2. Vitality finally amps up the pace, comes back out, and I've talked about Vitality starting a little bit slow. It happens again here, and they wake up, they win the next 2, 4-1, 2-0. But then Dignitas, and this is where I've been concerned with Dignitas, is do they have the ability to adapt and change to a team that can keep up with them? And they do. 4-1, 2-1 in OT. Apparently Jack with his flip resets. Very one-dimensional style of offense from Dignitas. Same old. One's mechanics, flip reset, solo dribble, and a lot of double commits, actually. That was pretty scary. A lot of times someone would go up, Scrub Killer would go for a dribble, and then Jorias would come to take it over, but nothing would happen from it. That communication of who's passing wouldn't happen, and it got scary. But eventually they started to use those mechanics to pass to their teammates, use the mechanics to make the respect happen, make the defense respect the fact that you have the ability to go for a play, but then turned it into a pass and changed the angle. Looked out great. Dignitas closes out the first series. Everybody takes a breath of relief, or a sigh of relief, I guess. And then we go into the next series, and the series just amps up again, significantly faster, but Dignitas does not bleed. They do not allow Vitality a single game in the second series of the best of set, and they close it out 4-0. Dignitas looking like a world-class team. You saw Jorias in the winner's interview. He recently went through a pretty heavy loss. His uncle passed away, who was a close friend and neighbor, someone that was really good in the family. And that's what he was playing with. I actually talked with Jorias during this and saying, hey, man, dedicate the W to him. Work hard, play hard, and do it for him. And despite the heavy heart, he lives up to the expectation. He wins the MVP for the weekend, and in his winner's interview does give credit to him. So super proud of the team. Despite no coach, they do have the mental coach to help in the back end, keeping things in good spirit, winning and dedicating it to a great cause. I saw the chat show the support and stuff too. So credit to Jorias and everybody else on Dignitas. Love for the team. A lot of positive vibes. There's been a lot of conversation about Scrub Killer this season. I said it at We Play. This is a make or break season for Scrub. If they don't perform well here, or if there's issues with the organization, we're probably never going to see Scrub on a team again after the Mouse and Singularity and all the other BS that went down. He's found a home. He's found 2 players that he respects, 2 players he enjoys playing with, and it is showing. Apparently Jack, a bunch of flip resets and passes. Jory is continuing to support it and do the same thing because they're both absolutely cracked. And Scrub Killer, one's player, used to be one of the best, understands the play style that they want to accomplish and locks it down and has some stellar saves on defense. Could still be better though, which is scary to think about. This Dignitas team has still not hit their peak. I'm excited. That last series, 2-1, 3-0, 3-2 OT, 4-10, 2-1, 1 minute 52 OT. Dignitas every single one. No chance for Vitality to come back. They close it out and showcase that, yes, you guys may be boot camping, but we're just the better team. So Dignitas doing some pretty crazy stuff. Time for the last part of the video, though. It is the rankings update for Europe. If you take a look at the overall rankings, right now, Dignitas in first place, bumping up 2 spots because Endpoint doesn't even make top 8 at 501. BDS remains the same at 450. Endpoint, because they did take a victory, stays at 411. And then Misfits bumps up Semper, Vitality from there. So Vitality jumping up 9 places. That's exactly where they want to be to give themselves a chance for the major. We got 1 regional left, which will be going down in 2 weeks, but don't worry. We'll make sure to cover North America and all the others. I'll try to do a recap this week of everything else going on in the scene, but North America got through their qualifiers this past weekend, are now getting ready for their main event for Regional 3 coming up this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you guys want to make sure you don't miss out on any of that kind of information, the recaps, everything else going on, stay up to date on all 8 regions. I will be doing my best as we eventually get into tiebreaker stuff. I'll probably do a video on just tiebreakers, who has a chance, what's going down, what needs to happen in the coming week. So That said, if you guys do enjoy the content, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.